if you were on the scene and you were powerful, like, to be honest, like, if you're not in those files, it would be an insult because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
She wrote, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god.
Epstein was reportedly on the verge of cooperating with federal authorities shortly before his death.
Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein.
The U.S. Department of Justice released over 3,000 documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Oprah Winfrey's name appears several times in contact lists, emails, and court records. While being mentioned doesn't mean she was involved in any crimes. It has sparked online speculation about how well she knew Epstein. Some critics believe powerful connections helped Epstein maintain social credibility. Emails suggest Epstein hoped to rebuild his reputation through media figures with large platforms, including Oprah, though some claim those emails may be fake. Separately, Oprah's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa faced a major scandal in 2007 when a dorm matron was accused of abusing more than 15 students. Oprah denied knowing about the abuse, and no evidence ever showed she was personally involved. The accused staff member faced multiple charges, while a former school head later sued Oprah for defamation related to comments about the case.
It's needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core.
Winfrey said she was disappointed in the former headmistress and addressed students' concerns about a restrictive atmosphere at the school.
Spoke to all the girls personally, and I encouraged all of them, any of them who had actually been harmed, to please come forward.
A tweet discussing Oprah's alleged connection to Epstein reads, Epstein documents revealed that a woman stated on record that Epstein offered her money to birth babies for black market use. The email also mentions John of God, who has ties to Oprah. He was sent to prison for keeping women and children in an underground lair, where he allegedly abused them for years and forced them to give birth to babies for organ harvesting and black market purchases. He would then eliminate the women and children when they were no longer useful or able to produce children. This was one sick monster who deserves more than prison, the most severe punishment possible. This may sound shocking, but some celebrities have claimed that certain industry executives buy babies for ritualistic purposes. Peter J. Nygaard, who once appeared as a guest connected to Oprah, was also accused in recordings of trying to bribe black women for their aborted fetuses. Allegations like these have fueled criticism and concern about disturbing behavior within parts of Hollywood.
You can get paid a lot more than that.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500 for you know. I'm prepared to outbid him anyway. Whatever I bid, he's going to outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, you know, placenta. Even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. Yeah. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it shouldn't go to waste. It's life for somebody, you know.
Him.
And it's life for
George R. Bush.
No, the best eggs are 60 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs.
60 to 18-year-olds.
Your eggs get weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So you may not be our top candidate.
No, that's fine. I think that was my business anyway.
Using other people's stem cells and blood, especially from children, is claimed by some to be more common than many think. After news about Jeffrey Epstein broke, Nicki Minaj tweeted about disturbing things she said she learned in the industry. She didn't name anyone directly, but her comments were widely interpreted as criticism of powerful elite circles.
Here's what Nicki Minaj had to say. She wrote, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. And yeah, she's not the first person in Hollywood to say that. I just don't know how much could be in our face anymore before we wake up and realize these people are ruling over us, and they win when we're fighting with each other. That's just the reality. I really don't see how you can have a ton of success in Hollywood and not be in the club, because Hollywood was founded upon this. I just don't really care what you call me. It's time for everyone to wake up.
The center of it all is one question. What was Jeffrey Epstein doing with the children he abused? Some victims claimed he wanted to create a baby farm at his New Mexico ranch, where women would be impregnated with his sperm. According to testimony, Epstein aimed to have multiple women give birth to his children at the ranch. Reports also suggest he was obsessed with eugenics, genetic engineering, and the idea of creating designer babies, often discussing these ideas with prominent scientists.
In the Epstein files, it literally shows emails that Jeffrey Epstein was creating designer babies. I really want to know why we haven't heard the DOJ talk about this, especially since some of the survivors said that this happened to them in Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico property, Zorro Ranch. How I found out that he was working with another person to create these designer babies is because I saw him ordering a lot of 23andMe kits, and he was sending them to a lot of different people as gifts. In this email, he was sending some to Woody Allen and his adopted daughter at one point in time, who is now his wife. And I started to see a lot of emails in the Epstein files of people saying that they were pregnant to Jeffrey Epstein, or even alluding that he had actual children. Like this email in 2011 to Jeffrey Epstein, and it appears to be from Sarah Ferguson. And it said, "You have disappeared. I didn't even know you were having a baby. It's so crystal clear to me that you were only friends with me to get to Andrew, and that really hurt me deeply, more than you will know. Congratulations on your baby boy." And this email in 2006 from Glenn Dubin to Jeffrey Epstein. "I get pictures of you flying over Mount Fiji, and I have to find out from Benghazi that you have twin babies. Eva and I are so excited for you. Please send pictures ASAP." And Glenn Dubin says, "Test tube babies, just thinking." Started looking up the term babies in the Epstein files, and this is when I came across this. It was titled "Designer Babies" in August of 2018, and he has it on like an agenda. Then I found this email, and it's from Brian Bishop to Jeffrey Epstein, and it's "Designer Babies / Brian Bishop." So I looked up who Brian Bishop was, because I was like, why are they saying designer babies? And it says, Brian Bishop is a software engineer and a biohacker who gained attention for his attempts to fund and advance a do-it-yourself, or DIY, designer baby project using Bitcoin. His project aimed to utilize the CRISPR gene editing technology to engineer human embryos for enhanced traits, such as increased muscle mass or improved memory. And this is the next email I found about designer babies, and it's from Brian Bishops to Jeffrey Epstein, and it says, "Here is a deck about my designer baby project. I have talked with Austin again, and we have a series of questions about how serious you are about wanting this, and what are the ground rules for me even exploring this with you and getting to next step."
Disgusting crimes were linked to Jeffrey Epstein's island. After his 2006 arrest, he tried to repair his image by donating to charities, funding academic programs, and connecting with elite institutions. Despite being a registered offender, some universities and nonprofits accepted his support. When that didn't fully restore his reputation, he reportedly looked for trusted public figures who could help legitimize.
Let's talk about Oprah. Now, Oprah is limited in the context of the files, but there is clear collusion between Oprah and Jeffrey Epstein. What do you mean? Well, Sarah Ferguson, yes, the Duchess of York, she is involved with Epstein, and she is involved with Oprah. Let's talk about this specifically. Sarah sent Epstein an email saying, "I want to make sure you're aware I'm going on Oprah tomorrow, and she is going to ask me about my debts, the entrapment of last year, and the press about you in January." It'll be quick and at the top of this show, all of 10 seconds, a very small piece. However, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of this and seek your advice on how you want me to answer. It will be a tiny piece. This is straight up collusion. This is Oprah passing through a message to Epstein. And you know what? Jeffrey responded to Sarah with the answer that he was supposed to give. Jeffrey was unfairly characterized as a pedophile by the tabloid press. Many years ago, Jeffrey pleaded guilty to soliciting underage prostitutes. He paid his debt to society and has sought forgiveness. I have nothing more to say. This was in 2011. This is clear collusion between Oprah, Sarah, and
Keep in mind that Oprah has had friendships with several figures in the entertainment industry who were later convicted or widely accused of serious misconduct, including Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Sean Diddy Combs. Some critics argue that these repeated associations raise questions. For years, Weinstein was celebrated in Hollywood, and Oprah once spoke positively about him. Like many powerful figures, he was widely supported in the industry until allegations against him eventually surfaced and public opinion shifted.
Oprah publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution."
Please welcome Seal!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Fans have come to her defense, pointing out Winfrey is a sexual survivor. They also posted pics of Seal's ex, Heidi Klum, kissing Weinstein.
Some critics say that in Hollywood, money and power can encourage silence about wrongdoing. They argue that celebrities are often rewarded for staying quiet, while influential figures protect insiders. Dave Chappelle once said he turned down a major deal because he didn't trust the industry's expectations. At the time, many people mocked his decision, including comments made by Oprah Winfrey. But years later, some fans believe Chappelle may have been avoiding a system that demands silence and control.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. And I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
The list of people Epstein was involved with keeps growing.
The list of people linked to Jeffrey Epstein keeps growing. Newly released documents have brought powerful figures, including politicians, tech leaders, billionaires, and even royalty, back into the spotlight. Many of these names had surfaced years ago, but were dismissed at the time. Now, the latest records are raising new questions with clearer timelines and reported connections to Epstein's network.
And the chairman of a prominent law firm is stepping down over his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Paul Weiss law chair Brad Karp says in a statement, quote, "Recent reporting has created a distraction and has placed a focus on me that's not in the best interest of the firm." The firm says Karp will remain with the firm, just in a different role. Senior Washington reporter Will Staken is here for more. Hi, Will. So what's the latest on this growing list of prominent people facing scrutiny over the Epstein files?
Yeah, Diane, well I think, Mr. Karp right here is kind of the latest fallout from these Epstein files. Like you said, the really powerful law firm Paul Weiss announced that Mr. Karp would be stepping down after his name appeared in these files. Now, the law firm did not give a reason why Mr. Karp is stepping down, and previously the law firm denied Mr. Karp had any wrongdoing, but with this release of these files, his name appears in the files, mostly with his assistant trying to schedule meetings with Mr. Epstein. But there's an email between Mr. Karp and Epstein where he's asking about if he could help, get his son some kind of job in an upcoming Woody Allen film. So I think these emails, obviously are continuing to have fallout across, widespread industries. It's kind of the latest fallout here. We saw recently that popular wellness influencer Peta Attia also stepped down from his role at the protein company David.
Several careers have been affected by the new Epstein documents. Billionaire Bill Gates had a documented relationship with Jeffrey Epstein starting around 2011 after Epstein's convictions. They met multiple times for private dinners and meetings in New York.
Knew everybody that was very powerful. So if you were on the scene and you were powerful, to be honest, if you're not in those files, it would be an insult because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
Right. So the people who aren't in the files are losers.
Yes.
Okay. Are you in the files?
Well, of course I am, because it's any journalist that wrote about it.
That's an astonishing attitude, isn't it? You're the loser because you're not in this. I find that jaw-dropping.
Jeffrey Epstein was connected to some of the world's most powerful figures, including Prince Andrew. Despite Epstein's conviction, some billionaires still sought his friendship. Documents allege Epstein arranged sexual acts and international meetings involving young women. As a result, Prince Andrew has faced major consequences, though he reportedly shows no regret.
Let me just get real and say,
if I gun to your head, what do you think your best assessment of what Epstein, who was Epstein, who was he working for?
Well, I don't know, right? So I'm just guessing. Everybody wants to say he was working for the Mossad. He very well could have been. He could have been working for the CIA. He could have been a guy who was on his own, but also working with them, right? Like a guy that they used, but they never fully endorsed.
Like an asset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a guy who could move money around.
Right.
He definitely...
Good at laundering money.
The moving money around stuff was very weird because he had money through no way that anybody could ever explain.
Yeah.
He had an enormous amount of money through no way that nobody could ever explain. Which, if you're state-funded... You're funded by Israel, and Israel's funded by America, and there's also NGOs and nonprofits, and there's ways to move money around where you can give this guy money.
Yeah.
So he was like Weinstein, who is an economist, right? Weinstein's a legitimate mathematician.
Eric?
Yeah. So when Eric met him, his first inclination was he was a fraud.
He's a construct.
Yeah, a construct. And did he tell you the whole story about the girl sitting on his lap?
Yep.
So Epstein, while he's meeting with Eric Weinstein for the first time, has a beautiful girl sitting on his lap, and a woman, I shouldn't say girl. He said she was in her 20s, and she's sitting on his lap, and he's bouncing around, so her tits are juggling around.
While he's asking math questions.
Yeah, talking serious. So he was obviously nerd fishing.
The big question is how Jeffrey Epstein gained access to elite circles. He wasn't there by chance. Gatekeepers, intermediaries, and institutions help place him. Royals and other powerful figures don't mix with strangers without trust, raising concerns that powerful institutions may have failed to investigate him properly for years.
According to an FBI record, Epstein was possibly about to cooperate with the feds right before he died. That on July 29, 2019, his lawyers and the federal prosecutors in this case, in very general terms, discussed the possibility of a resolution of the case and the possibility of the defendant's cooperation. Cooperation's key. Defense counsel did not make a specific proposal, and they did not indicate what the nature of Epstein's cooperation might be, if any. But it was suggested that defense counsel contact SDNY if Epstein was prepared to accept responsibility for his conduct and/or they had a specific proposal for a resolution of this case. Okay, so maybe he was going to work out a deal and then he dies, right? That looks suspicious. This is a guy who had connections to the rich and powerful, potentially had a lot of information. Strange, he just dies.
The most shocking claim is that right before his death, Jeffrey Epstein reportedly agreed to cooperate with authorities and name his associates. While no official list or formal agreement has been released, the timing and his knowledge of powerful figures raises questions about who might have wanted him silenced. We're told to trust the headlines and official conclusions, but the story still feels unfinished. With so many names, documents, and little accountability, Epstein may have been more than just one man, perhaps a hub who knew too much. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video.